It is completely true. How on earth can justice be rushed for a white working class person who happened to post something slightly offensive on Facebook or X and ends up locked up for 3 years? But when it comes to people who are literally beating up the police, according to what we see on that CCTV footage, goes at a snail's pace.
Some groups in our community, in our country, have more value than others. So the white working class have no value to Labour, have no value. They've stopped voting for the Labour Party over generations. Most of them don't even go out and vote now. So they have no value. The Muslim community, on the other hand, are still supporting Labour. Some of them are beginning to drift away. So Labour are doing whatever they can now to retain that Muslim bloc vote because they're important to Labour. So this interference, this political interference with the police is to secure that vote. I used to be based in police stations 20 years ago. I've trained police officers when I've worked for Manchester Council. I saw 20 years ago two-tier policing. It's been going on for decades and decades. All that's happened now since Black Lives Matter, and then since we've got mobile phones we've got cameras on our phones, is we get to see it every day now. Where 20 years ago, nobody saw it unless you worked with the police.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons, isn't it, Russell? You have the likes of Tony Blair wanting to shut down social media.
Well, yes, they want to censor Elon Musk, shut down social media, or rather the people on social media that they don't agree with. You hear from some, again, I call them far left commentators, that they think the internet should be regulated. They don't like opinions that don't accord with their own, and certainly don't like freedom of speech. And the fact is, the logic around that is that, in a free society, in a society where there is freedom of expression and free speech, it comes down to the power of an individual's argument. So you either win the argument on the argument by way of logic and persuasion and data, or you don't. Now, if you lose the argument, it probably means that you're wrong. If you win the argument, it probably means that you're right. What the left are fantastic at doing is shutting down political opponents that they disagree with, because despite the fact that political opponents, like those assembled on this show now, they can't argue successfully. So their only resolution is to shut people down, even as far as the likes of, yes, Elon Musk and others that are, powerful voices. And again, I come back to the point. This is tyranny. This is something at the late 1930s. And we should be very, very, very...
It's woke tyranny, but it is tyranny.
Yeah,
it is.
There's... The fact of the matter is, what the Labour, what left-leaners, whether it's the Green Party, because they're left-wing, extreme actually in some respects, the Lib Dems and Labour, what they're concerned about with regard to the example of the Manchester airport thugs, the four of them that haven't yet been charged 7 weeks later, they're simply concerned about backlash and optics and perception. In city centres where there's huge ethnic minority populations, they simply don't want to upset them. And again, where have we heard that before? Where is that familiar from in our fairly recent history in Britain? I'll tell you where it's familiar from, and that's the Rochdale grooming gangs. We have it on record from police officers at the time. They didn't want to pursue those prosecutions. This is Pakistani Muslims raping 10, 12, 13-year-old white British girls. They didn't want to pursue it because they didn't want to ignite bad feeling within those communities. Well, that, I think, is the very opposite of a fair and balanced approach to policing and the criminal justice system. And by the way, who is involved in the Department of Prosecutions, the DPS, way back then? Keir Starmer.
And he doesn't like to talk about that aspect of his record, does he? Just like he doesn't like to talk about the fact that he was the bloke who didn't charge Jimmy Savile.
Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers, I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.